Hey, this is Tony with ProductManagerHub.io, where we talk all things product management. And welcome back to Life as a Product Manager, volume number 5, where we recap my weekly highlights and lowlights in the exotic profession of product management. What are we covering today? We are covering product management activities, development activities, and lessons learned. Let's just jump right in. So, product management activities. When I talk about that, we're really talking about idea creation, concept development, product definition, product launch, etc. When it comes to the amount of hours I spent actually in a seat talking to people, strategizing about those different types of product development activities, roughly spent about 8 hours this week. Honestly, it was a little bit light due to some of the holidays that are coming up currently. And yeah, it was just kind of a light week this week. So, biggest lessons learned that I had coming out of that particular category is going to be communication. Now, I'm sure you probably heard that a million different times, but communication. Always assess the way you're communicating a change to your stakeholders or the user. I learned that even the smallest change could impact another person's experience of a product greatly. So here's a fun example of what happened. So I made a minor change in our development environment this week to improve the security functionality and to find out, just our luck, that we actually ended up locking out our senior sales leader who was giving a demo at the time that we made the adjustment to it. So it was a great adjustment to the system, but unfortunately, it wasn't a communicated adjustment to the system. Big ups. So this is why, once again, communication is key. Even if it is in some of the lower environments, you always want to make sure that you're communicating out to users what you're doing, how it might impact them, and then making sure that you get in and actually test some of those functionalities before you just kind of let it sit for the day. So big lesson learned this week is communicate out to everybody that's using your product from even in the lower environments to ensure that they're not doing something or educate them to not use your development environment to do demos per se. So that was product management activities this week. Jumping over to the other side of the house when it comes to product development activities. Once again, product development activities is really constructed around like user stories, Scrum activities, testing, deploying, making sure you're building your product to meet those stakeholder needs. This week, it was kind of a little bit heavier. I spent roughly about 17 hours having conversations with our teams on some of the new story development and just making sure we're testing appropriately. Some of the biggest lessons learned that I had this week is personas and services. So when you are, and everybody kind of does development a little bit differently, but I'm more accustomed to building microservices that can be used across different applications to foster the same types of data, but just kind of like building blocks for your product. And so the interesting thing is we want to always ensure that we're tracking not only who is using our microservices, but also the different types of personas that are using that just as much. So that as you're going through your testing, you want to be just mindful of, once again, the communication piece to it. You are communicating back out to those other development teams that are using your services to say, hey, we might impact a persona that you have. And you want to make sure you communicate those out so that as you're making changes, they can test and you can make it out into a production environment without having to deploy some sort of a hot fix. So lessons learned there. And then the other one I wanted to talk a little bit about this week is technical debt. As you continue to evolve a product, it always fascinates me the amount of technical debt that you can accumulate. But you just want to be very mindful of as you're touching existing product and making improvements to it. If you find that you make an improvement to one piece of the product and it also other pieces of the product could actually benefit from some of this newer technology that you've applied, always put that into your backlog. You want to make sure that you're building out a great backlog of your technical debt. And then also you should be bringing those into your sprints on bi-weekly or whatever the sprint cadence that you're working in, but you want to make sure that you're continuously working on tech debt so that you don't get into a point where your actual main focus of a product is technical debt. So those are the two big lessons learned that I had this week when it comes to the product development. So once again, products and services and technical debt. And then the big recap for the lessons learned this week is going to be foster your relationships. So as a product manager, we might sometimes overlook the importance of fostering strong internal relationships and collaborations with other people within our organization. So, while product managers typically focus on customer needs, market research, product development, all those fun things, it still is important to build strong connections within your cross-functional teams and stakeholders. And doing all this can greatly contribute to the success of a product. So, in closing, we invite you to come on over and check out productmanagerhub.io. We have so many valuable tools and resources to help you bring your career to the next level. Thanks for stopping in, and we will see you in the next video.